Good evening, everyone. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Oh my gosh, we're midway through November already, coming up on the holidays. Hope everyone's doing well. And just one quick announcement, which will lead into our guests. So I'll make it quick and then bring Bjorn in. But just a reminder that we will be having online royal court this Saturday at 1 o'clock. Information will be posted in the Facebook group for the kingdom. So be sure to be there or be square. And I hope you can make it. It's court. So let's go ahead and bring Mr. Bjorn in. He'll be here in just one moment. And there he is. Hello, Bjorn.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Well, I'm amazed at both how much they got right and how much they got wrong in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Other than that, I'm, just usual.
I haven't gotten it yet. That's my favorite game series right now.
I'd never played it before. And now that I have, I realize I've missed a lot, and I just didn't know how stealthy Vikings could be. Blowing a horn and sacking a town under the cover of night, you're practically a ninja at that point.
Right. Blowing a horn and sacking a town is also a movie you can rent online. I think I started playing Black Sails, which is the pirate one, and you get to on ships and you get to blow things up. So that was an awesome one. Ooh, that's a mighty big mug.
That is a lot of winter wassail, lightly seasoned with, I'm pretty sure that's rum.
Oh, yes. So kids, if you need a recipe, be sure to check Bjorn. So who do we have for arts and sciences recommendations this week?
Well, first things first. Before we go into the arts and sciences recommendations, I wanted to make an announcement about the fall ball Virt-U-All. So the deadlines have been extended for registration to give people a little bit more time. The new deadline is going to be Wednesday, November 18th for all the completed arts and sciences challenge entries, which is unconventional materials, fall ball, timed art challenge, and the fall full foods. So if you wish to get feedback and hints to improve this project or documentation, it's just going to give you a little bit more time. If you have something that's not quite done, but you want to go ahead and get the feedback, then go ahead and register and upload by November 18th, noon, so you can just show everybody what you have so far. If you just want to display things on the website and share your projects, it's not about any kind of feedback, just this is what I'm doing, then you can register until Friday, the 20th at 1 p.m. So we hope to see you guys at the ball. Like I said, I'm going to be running the Bardic. We have a lot of other things going on, and that is going to be on Saturday, starting at 3, so it'll be after our court. All right, so that's now that that's the business out of the way, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the two websites. Now, I don't generally do websites that cost anything. But this one was something that I wanted to talk about because there's a free version and then there's a version that costs a little bit of money. And this is thechinaguide.com, and it is a virtual tour of the Great Wall of China. So if you are interested in taking a look at various scenes on the actual wall itself, and you get up close enough to see mortar in brick and stone on this. There is a free version, and then there is a paid version. The paid version is $8 US. And although, like I said, I'm not someone that generally promotes. We don't generally promote paid things on this on Live from Caid, but it is really a very impressive high-res walking video scan of several portions of the wall. Now, obviously, it's not an entire walking tour of the whole wall. I don't know if anybody has enough petabytes to do that at that kind of resolution. But at any rate, if you're interested in taking a look at some of the, not just the wall itself, but also the beautiful countryside on either sides of the wall, it's something to look at. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the digital collections for the Library of Congress. Now, since I'm going in and talking about it, I should say that this is something that's a little bit more refined. This isn't something for you to thumb through like it's the back of a JCPenney's catalog. the Library of Congress digital collections are things that you go to when you know what you're looking for. And although I certainly understand if people want to just go and check out various cities and towns or maps or surveys of historical American buildings, which are out of period, that's great. But they also have a lot of maps for cities and towns in Europe that are period, and also just collections of right now. One of the best collections for us is a collection of 10th through 16th century liturgical chants. They are trying to digitize all of their music at the Library of Congress, and this is there's their start. I believe there are currently 55 items in the digital collections for their liturgical chants, and it's just the smallest smattering of what they have available on the Library of Congress. But if this is just the beginning, you see, and I cannot wait to see what else they're going to do. And one of the things that I have to admit about this particular situation with the pandemic is that it really has shown museums and libraries that have the means to digitize and put online a lot of their resources. So those of us who are unable to attend in person, we can look at this. And it doesn't get much better than the Library of Congress. So at any rate, those are the two websites plus the news for ANS for this week.
All right. Well, we did have a question come in. So for the Great Wall, is it $8 for the year or just for the site? Or
I believe it is $8 for that tour. So it is $8 for the tour. And I actually did some research on that, and I did not find anywhere that there was a cutoff. So I believe, I'm not entirely certain, but if you purchase the tour of the Great Wall, then you've purchased the tour. So as long as you have access to it, to that computer, it might check a URL or something to that effect. But as long as you have access to it, it should be good since you've paid for it. That's the best I can do, because I was curious about that myself.
Cool. All right. So now it's time to turn to our first guest. Who are our guests tonight, Bjorn?
Let me see. I believe they are none other than Their Majesties of Caid, Alexander Tahira.
And since they need no introduction, we won't introduce them, right? So, and here they come right now. Hello, Your Majesties.
Hello. So good to be here in front of everyone again.
So it looks like you're coming from a slightly different place than the last time we spoke.
We are. We were lucky enough in this season of misery, if you will, to be able to find a new home. We've moved in. There's nothing here yet, but hey, we're getting there. We're furnishing.
So we're just wondering how things are going. Any updates for the kingdom? I mean, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons we are excited to be here. At first, I want to give everyone a bit of a backstory on this. When COVID first came out, we had to make many decisions. And obviously, when you have a group as large as Caid is, if you give everyone free kittens, they ask, why do you hate puppies? And if you then give them puppies, they will ask, why do you hate ducks? It's one of those things where no matter what decision you make, we understand some people are going to be unhappy. But the way we made those decisions was by getting as much information as we could and making the best choice we can for Caid. Because we took an oath when we took the throne to do what is best for Caid. And our original thought process on this was that we know that this was going to be a long time. And even though we had heirs, our concern was we didn't want our heirs to be stuck with the problem that many other kingdoms had with them ruling, and then their reign ends and they have no heirs. So we wanted to get our heirs into a good position so that when they actually take the throne or take over, that they will have the ability to get their own heirs. That was our goal and what we hope to achieve. So now that we are looking at, if you will, the light at the end of the tunnel on COVID here, the latest scientific things that we have seen are saying that they are looking at by the end of this month, perhaps December, early December, that they're going to announce that there is a vaccine that is going to be out ready for the populace. We will probably not see that for a couple months after that, but it does give us the opportunity now to look forward to having in-person events again. My goodness, how wonderful will that be? So Her Majesty and I now at this point, we have talked with many other royals throughout the known world, as well as the board of directors and all of our greater officers to decide what's best to move forward here. We believe we have gotten Caid into a position now that Caid is safe. We think that we can hand off safely to our heirs a kingdom that is not in jeopardy, and that our heirs will be able to get their own heirs. So we are looking at stepping down in January. Be there a vaccine or not, we are still going to step down. As we said, we feel we have gotten us to a safe enough place to do so. As for our heirs, it will be ultimately their decision. However, what I have for sure strongly recommended to them is coronation is a magical moment. It is a thing in time that nobody forgets. It's one of those moments that happens once, twice, if you're really lucky, maybe a few more times than that in your lifetime. It is a rare opportunity. It's something nobody ever forgets. And I have given my words of wisdom to my heirs and told them that I think that they should have an in-person coronation, no matter what. Even if it means their reign is shortened, I think they should wait and have an in-person coronation. So how does that translate if in January when we step down, if they are unable to step up as an in-person coronation? Well, in discussing it with, as I said, with the board of directors and seeing how other kingdoms are going to handle it, what will probably happen at this point, unless the vaccine comes out a little faster than we expect, is that we will abdicate the throne. As we have heirs, the authority, if you will still be there. They will just continue to reign as prince and princess, if you will, until such time as they are actually able to step up with an in-person coronation. That is what I am recommending to them. It's what I hope they do. That is the best advice that we have received thus far from other kingdoms, from the board of directors, from our own officers. That's the direction we're currently heading in. So that's where we're going. So January is going to be something. And as soon as we're able to have that in-person coronation, we're going to let people know. And I would imagine there'll be a tournament with me to follow. That first month we're all coming back. It's going to be a big month.
So the path that you've recommended, there's been other kingdoms that have done that too, correct?
There have. We've talked to kingdoms that have done a virtual coronation, and to the kingdoms that are doing what we are looking to do, and who have already been through it. And everyone is recommending to us the same thing. Do not allow the coronation to be virtual. Yes, it can be done. It can be done with dignity and class and what have you, but it just doesn't have the same impact as that in-person coronation. And as I said, I would not deprive that from anybody. If to have that experience, and it's not just for the people on the throne, it's for everybody that's involved. I can tell you, I can remember coronations that I have attended, and memories that I'll never forget. We want everyone to be able to experience that. And that's my recommendation to our heirs, is I think that's what they should do, and I believe they are leaning that way.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, more than likely now that we're just kind of narrowing that path and looking more at windows, that first month, once we get past coronation, is going to be, there may be like crown and Queen's Champion and all that just kind of jammed right on top of each other to get us back up to where we should be. Is that what we're looking at?
I believe so, yes. The funny part is, that's one of the cautions that people have thrown towards us, and that what are we going to do? Oh, how can we do this? This is where I know we're going to succeed, because Caid has done the incredible so many times. The suffering that we have been through this particular pandemic, Caid has stiff upper lipped, if you will, and we have gone through it amazingly well compared to many of the other kingdoms. The struggles that we've gone through in the past few years, I think this kingdom has responded beyond belief. And I know that even though we may have to jam a bunch of events together, it's going to happen. People are going to take care of it. It's going to be done well. I'm excited to see it, to be perfectly honest.
And you mentioned their highnesses. Their highnesses are doing well at this time too?
They are. I'm lucky enough to have Her Highness still living with me. My precocious, lovely mum is resting well, staying away from people to make sure she doesn't get COVID. She's doing wonderful. And His Highness, Panza, we speak with him almost daily. He's very much looking forward to when we can all play together again.
And then, I know this may be something that's beyond the realm at this time, but if once we get back together, will we perhaps be looking at guidelines that we need to follow, like masks and kind of stuff, or is that going to come as we get closer to the time we are back together?
We're going to have to see what the best information is at the time. I assume as the vaccines are being rolled out, we will all have to wear like stickers, "I've been vaccinated," or something. I don't know. I'll buy a shirt or something. And when we get back together, it'll probably be something along those guidelines of whatever the state and local officials are telling us we do, of course. But safety amongst the SCA people and Caid in particular, to make sure everyone stays safe. I'm sure there'll be some kind. We just don't have that information yet to truly put out. But if I had to guess, I would say I'm sure there'll be some kind of guidelines for the first few months.
And speaking of safety, a couple of people have been asking how your hand is doing.
Great segue. I missed that. I knew I shouldn't have gone into safety. I'm doing A-okay. I'm an idiot. For those of you who didn't hear, I took a power tool to my own hand, accidentally moving into my new home, building things. I'm doing wonderful, though. Thank you for all the encouraging words people have sent me. Although there's some of you out there that I'm not going to forget that thought a meme or two was in order. I do deserve it. For those wondering, just quickly, the story was last cut of the day. Took some shortcuts, and I know better. I should not have done. And in doing shortcuts, I jumped a circular saw out of a piece of wood and caught 3 of my fingers with it. Had to go to the hospital. Had 9 stitches in one finger, and the other 2 were cut so bad they weren't able to stitch them. So we're taking other methods with a specialist now. But I have movement, as you can see. I'm going to recover. I'm doing great.
And Your Majesty Tahira, how have you been doing? I know you've been working a lot, right?
Yeah, I'm working a lot, but I'm doing well. Our hospital is pretty busy right now. Our floors are pretty full. So most of my time is spent at work or moving. Other than that, everything's been good. Everyone's safe. We're doing good.
You got a compliment on your shawl from Bex of Calafia.
Oh, thank you. This was a gift my first train.
Wow, very nice. So it's usually at this point I turn it over to Bjorn for a few questions. So much better questions are coming your way, Your Majesty. So let me step away for a moment.
Thank you, Your Majesties. So one of the things I was going to ask is for the Kingdom of Caid, if it appears that a vaccine won't be until late in their upcoming Majesty's reign, are we prepared to have a truncated time of service for them as we did immediately following the Regency?
Obviously, that'll be something they'll have to handle, but I can tell you from what we have spoken to them and discussed, a shortened reign might just be something that they are going to have to endure. And when I say a shortened reign, I need to remind everyone that they have already been sitting in their particular seats now for a considerable amount of time. So I don't think either one of them is going to be hurt in any way, shape, or form if somebody says, hey, you're only going to really sit in live reign, for lack of a better term, for 2 months. That's going to affect them. They're prepared to do their duty for Caid, as anyone who should step on a throne should be. A shortened reign may have to happen. Obviously, we have done what we felt was best to get Caid to this point. But I have the utmost confidence in their heirs, in our heirs, to move us forward. They're going to make the best decisions moving forward into what's best for them. A shortened reign might be one of the things they're going to do.
Thank you so much. And the only other question I have is you said that you had been in discussions with other crowns. Have you been giving them advice on how things are, since our municipalities vary widely? Some state governors don't even have mask mandates in some places. And that being said, have they asked you any advice, given that things where we are seem to be a little more a little more regimented?
I'm very lucky. With my military career, I happen to have some friends who actually work in the CDC and give me knowledge that a lot of civilians don't get. And so, in having that knowledge, I made several people aware of that. We have a little royal chat, if you will, of all the kingdoms that started after COVID came out, so that we could talk amongst ourselves to find out what's going to be best for the SCA. And in that chat, I've made people aware that this is information that I have, and we've discussed it. Have they taken advice or asked me for it? Not directly. That more of questions go out for the entire group of royals that are on there, and people answer with whatever information they have.
Thank you so much, Your Majesty. I appreciate it. And once again, I certainly didn't mean to imply that the heirs had not been doing a phenomenal job for several months now. As I have previously stated, their highnesses have done great service with the various peerage circles. So they've been. This is such a severe form of on-the-job training that no one could have possibly expected from anyone who has one crown, let alone set the thrones as you both have done now twice. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that and for your answers to the questions. And that's all I got, Laertes. So I guess we can move on to the fun stuff.
I'm going to consider he just called me the fun stuff. So that's his nickname for me. And one last thing before we get to that, I assume as we get closer, we'll be hearing more from your majesties and the great officers and their highnesses about what the rollout plan is.
Yes.
Because if we're coming from a dead stop and we got to get practices and la. So
we just don't have, we just don't have the information yet to find the timelines. Obviously, as soon as we have them, we'll start rolling them out.
Sweet. All righty. So now's the time where we like to entertain our guests with a little trivia game. So we have one this week. And Bjorn, what do we call the game this week?
Today's game for their majesties is Mine is Longer Than Yours.
So as we've been talking about, I believe this reign has set the record for the longest reign in Caid, correct? For the sitting royal. So I have some other longest comparisons that we can do. Yeah, see, I'm trying to keep a straight face this whole time.
I'm trying to keep my pants on here, Laertes, is all I'm saying.
Someone did ask if you're wearing shorts right now, Your Majesty. So we'll start easy, super easy. So who was the longest serving president of the United States?
Hold on. No, I know this one. 3 terms. The only president do 3 terms in my brain, or was it, no, 4 terms. The only president do 4 terms, right? 4 terms.
Baron Nico just answered if you want to steal it from him.
No, I'm blind. I can't see it. Oh, God. You know what?
That would be FDR.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's okay.
On. Next question, please.
Even though it seemed much longer with the current president, actually FDR reigned for 4,422 days. He didn't reign; he served.
Served.
It's just, okay, so who's the longest serving British royal?
The current one.
Yes. She has a name.
Elizabeth.
Yes. Yes, she's.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were being proper. It's like I feel like I know her. As
Oh my God.
problems.
She served for 68, almost 69 years. So yes, longest serving. Okay, here's another one. Longest serving Caid Baron.
Oh, that's a solid question right there. Longest serving Caid Baron.
Served for 22 years.
I feel remiss. I've been answering all of these. I'm sure my lady will get it because it's such an easy question.
Ladies and gentlemen, the royal bus.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Best guess.
Down in Calafia, the founding Baron of Calafia served for 22 years. They're a small little barony. They understand.
I don't know.
Oh, I think she said Talanky, didn't she? That's what I heard, Bjorn.
I heard Talanky, yes.
Yeah, see? That's fantastic.
I'm just happy we're beating Algit that we got one right? So.
Wow.
Are people under the bus?
We have two more. Longest running TV game show host. He was recently in the news.
Mr. Trebek.
That is correct. He hosted for 37 consecutive seasons.
Oh, he made me sad there because I like that guy. I felt bad.
I know. Last one. Longest running SCA-centric show that launched during the pandemic.
I'm going to let my lady answer this one because she should get this one right.
Live from Caid.
Oh my God, Your Majesty, twice. Yeah, we started the week right after everything shut down. Between Two Piers started on the Friday of the same week, so we're still ahead. So there you go. Yeah. So before we go, there is a royal court this Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Correct.
And it's going to be fantastic, right?
We are excited, so excited to be in front of everyone again.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We skipped a month there because we were just have nothing new to report, if you will. So we're excited. Getting SCA rolling again. We're getting ready to go. Light at the end of the tunnel. Woo!
Well, thank you, Your Majesties, both. It's an honor to have you on the show. It's great to see how well y'all are doing. And we look forward to seeing you all in court this Saturday. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Wow, they're looking great. And man, Her Majesty knocked those questions out of the park.
It makes sense. She is the learned one of the two.
Yes. She can spell the words. See, I have them off screen right now and I can't hear them. So this is perfect. So who do we have coming up? I'm looking to what we have coming up. Who do we have coming up next, Bjorn?
We have as I like to say, the once and future Bard of Caid. We have Mistress Finella Harper, who is the current Bard of Caid. She was also the first Bard of Caid, and just a phenomenal performer in virtually every medium. And I'm just dead chuffed that she's going to be joining us this evening.
All righty, so let's bring her on the screen. I believe she's coming like in her portrait. It might be even pretty exciting. So let's see what's going on. Oh, well, that's strange.
Oh, hello.
Hello. You've entered your portrait. You were somewhere else.
Hello.
So
I'm magical, as you can see. How are you?
good. So since last we saw you, thank you for coming back. You seem to be in a different locale.
I am now in Their Majesty's home barony of Wintermist, which is actually a place I also lived in for a long time before I moved to Leondomere. So I am back in Wintermist.
So is it part of the deal, like every few months people in Wintermist just need to move houses and stuff? Is that what the deal is? Their Majesty's deal?
I haven't lived here in a while, but I'm starting to think that might be the deal. So I probably should have gotten more information, but here we are.
Now, last time you had a studio. Are you in the kind of process of building back one up in your new house, or?
We are. We have an amazing new house, but we're actually going to have to build studio space in it, and we don't have it yet. So I've got a little echo right now because I'm in what's going to be a library. There's just no shelving in it currently. So it's a little live. So it just adds to that monasterial feel.
That's awesome. So what piece are you going to perform for us this evening?
So I'm going to perform a piece that I actually did during one of the rounds of competition for the Bard of Caid about a year ago. I first performed it at an event in Drybergen, and the theme was Oktoberfest, so it happened in October. And it's a piece that I have long enjoyed. It's a period piece, and then I wrote a filk to it to go with the Oktoberfest theme. So it's a very short piece. What I'd like to do is perform the period words first, and then I will explain to you how I was inspired to do the filk. So The title of the piece is Tobacco is Like Love. And it goes like this. Tobacco, tobacco, sing sweetly for tobacco. Tobacco is like love. Oh, love it, for you see I will prove it. Love maketh lean the fat man's tumor, so doth tobacco. Love still drives up the wanton humor, so doth tobacco. Love makes men sail from shore to shore, so doth tobacco. 'Tis fine love often makes men poor, so doth tobacco. Love often sets men by the ears, so doth tobacco. Love makes men scorn all coward fears, so doth tobacco. Tobacco, tobacco, sing sweetly for tobacco. Tobacco is like love. Oh, love it, for you see I have proved it. Which is great, but the thing is, I don't really like tobacco. However, when I thought about the theme of the event, which was Oktoberfest, and thought about something that's an equivalent sin that I enjoy, well, that's tequila. So now I shall sing to you of how tequila is also like love. Tequila, tequila, sing sweetly for tequila. Tequila is like love. Oh, love it, for you see I will prove it. Love makes your heart swell like a tumor, so doth tequila. Love often starts up many a rumor, so does tequila. Love makes men swoon from bar to floor, so doth tequila. 'Tis fond love often makes men poor, so doth tequila. Love often sets men by the ears, so doth tequila. Love makes men scorn all coward fears, so doth tequila. Tequila, tequila, sing sweetly for tequila. Tequila is like love. Oh, love it, for you see I have proved it.
Very nice. Yeah, tequila was the
Thank you.
fuel that got me through college. So
Tequila's done a lot for a lot of us, and if we remembered more, it would probably have done more.
oh man, bad tequila is a nasty thing. Cheap tequila.
It's true. Life is too short for bad tequila, my friend. If you need advice, any of you, if you need advice on not bad tequila, please find me and I will help you.
Yeah, well, you know, in college you go to the happy hours, you don't get a choice. But anyway, I do have one question. We didn't even talk about this. So normally the Bard of Caid competition finishes at 12th night coronation. So has there been any plans putting what's going to happen, or we're just going to, as we get closer, come up with the plan for it?
Well, so here's a true fact. The current Bard of Caid is supposed to run the competition to find their successor, and normally it takes place over several months at several events, and then the finals are at 12th night.
Mm-hmm.
So to be honest, a lot happened during the pandemic, as you might imagine. One of the things was I moved. I started a new job, which is frankly very overwhelming. So I became the Bard of Caid, and then the shutdown happened like 2 months later. So at this point, I am ill-inclined to give it up until we have a better plan moving forward. So you know what? I may just be the Bard of Caid for a little while longer, and you guys can just come and fight me. Bring it. Bardic Throwdown, all takers. Let's go. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to stay in the position. I'm going to talk to their majesties. I'm going to talk to some of the bards of the kingdom, and we'll talk about what a solution going forward might be. But I think it's important, the things that His Majesty was talking about in terms of giving his heirs a live coronation and giving them an opportunity to experience that. So I'd like to try to find a way that the people that are competing for the Bard of Caid can actually do that in some way where they have a decent audience. And to be honest, a virtual audience is hard. Like, I know there are people there right now, but I can't see them. And Zoom is difficult because you hear one person at a time. So that's another thing to consider too, is sometimes we get people who haven't held this office before. And so it's important for them, I think, to have a really good performance experience. And there isn't really a way to do that right now. So here we are.
All right. I'll bring Bjorn in right quick before we let you go, because I'm sure he wants to say something.
Well, one of the things that when we all competed in the first Bard of Caid during Dietrich III, it was probably one of the largest groups of folks that had ever competed. And then Finella took the first one as the progenitor of the group. And she held it longer than normal that time too, because it was also not really in her court. There were supposed to be things going on around her that were like, okay, we'll do it here. No, we'll do it here. No, wait, we'll do it here. And finally, she had to go, how about we do it here? So I think, once again, I don't mean to speak for you, Finella, but if you're having to take the bardic destiny of the position into your hands yet again, since you did that the first time, I'm more than inclined to trust you to make the best decision, both for the position itself and also for any of the performers that would like to assume the mantle as you relinquish it. So I'm just happy with whatever you choose to do.
Well, I greatly appreciate that. And, you're one of the people that I would definitely talk to, but I just feel very strongly that the competition needs to happen in such a way that bards have an audience, because it's, especially for people that don't have as much performance experience, getting that feedback from an audience just makes it such a different feeling. So, but stay tuned. Who knows? We could announce it here first. Nobody knows.
Well, you're always welcome to come back. Thank you so much for returning and performing tonight.
Thank you very much.
And reminding me of my college years. Good luck in your new job and living in Winter Mist. So thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Have a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you again.
You too.
Good night. Well, that was great. She did look like a Hogwarts painting, though. Awesome.
She did. It was awesome. I mean, that was very cool. The ambiance we need in the almost midwinter.
True.
Although, who am I kidding? It was like 88 degrees where I was today. So
it was 92 in Burbank. So.
Yeah.
All righty. So next week, we're going to be speaking with Society Equestrian Officer Dame Arabella, who was at one point a resident here in Caid, to tell us what's going on in the equestrian community from the society level and in the different kingdoms and what they're preparing to do. So, and I'm sure we will have a fantastic bardic performance.
We've discussed this, you and I, and for the folks that at home that have watched, you'll notice that we've had a lot of performers from the East and a lot of performers from the West and a good number of folks from Caid. But there are a few kingdoms that have, as of yet, not come on, and I'm about ready to descend in all of my digitally descend in all of my bardic mass upon the performers of those respective kingdoms and go, come on, you want to give it a shot. And because Avakal and Meridies and Glenavon, and there was just a lot of places that have amazing performers that I would very much like to, that I might have heard at Lily's or at a Golf Force, but maybe a lot of the folks in Caid have not had a chance to hear, and I would like to get those folks the chance to do so. So you could reach out this next couple of weeks.
You could reach out to Edenvelt and see if they can get one of their jug bands to play for us. That'd be great. You're welcome. Anyway, thank you very much for watching us, and thank you, Bjorn. It's good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're doing well. And we'll see you next time.
Do not forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Remember, the more we get, the happier everybody makes it in all of the analytics.
Right. And you just reminded me that we're looking for help from you, the viewers. Please go and send us. We're looking for a quick 10 to 15-second message of what you're thankful for this year. It's been a very challenging year, but I'm sure there's things you're thankful for. And we'd like to share that with our viewers for our special Yule special that's coming up in December. So look for the post on Live from Caid. There's a way to either just send it as a PM, or I have actually a Dropbox that you can load the video on. Please, we'd like to see your messages, and thank you to the people that already submitted some. But we will see you next week, and once again, we will be live from Caid. We'll see you then. Good night.